Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's DLloyd. So they finally got our guy, Jontay Porter, everybody's favorite player, playing for the Toronto Raptors on a two-way deal. Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, who played with him at Missouri, they got him for irregularity in gambling bets that took place, in particular prop bets. So this was reported by DraftKings to the NBA. It became a big deal. Now the Toronto Raptors essentially sent home, or it could have been the NBA that made the decision, but regardless, he was sent home. He is now with the team. He is on leave while they go through an investigation to see how involved he was with this and what he knew about this. But what we do know is not that much. We know between, I think it was January and March 20th, they are investigating because on two separate occasions, the biggest winner that night was Jontay Porter on prop bets. Now, what would happen was, at least what they're thinking happened was, they would put the prop bets out there. People would take the under. An unusual amount of people will take the under on a player that already doesn't play that much to begin with. Now, what Porter did, twice he would take, well, I think one game he did not play at all. So that should be scratched. The second time, he played 3 minutes, said he had an eye injury, couldn't really see, came out the game, which does ensure that since he checked into the game, he will hit the under, and whoever took the under would win that bet. Simple. And that is something that causes red flags, right? Because one, all the gambling institutions, DraftKings, MGM, ESPN, BetUS, whatever it may be, they don't want to lose money. They don't want to lose money. The NBA, they don't want this to seem like this is a sport that could be controlled by gambling, right? Although they are now laying in bed with all of these gambling companies, they want the sport to still appear that it is pure and nobody is tanking, nobody's trying to manipulate bets, especially as more and more people get into the sports gambling world. It is becoming almost mainstream at this point to be gambling on some type of sports. They need everything to still feel fair, because the worst thing the NBA can have is fans tuning in and thinking that this is set up, this is WWE, this is fake, I can't trust what's going on. Now, with that said, I don't believe we will ever see really star players or players that have a lot of money or that are really under the eye get caught up in this. I think mainly you will see those guys that are making a little bit less than the star players, right? Especially when it comes to prop betting, there are maximums that you could bet on those things. So you will see the guys like Jontay Porter, who's only making a little over $400,000 this season, who's only made about $2 million over the length of his career. He's holding on for an NBA roster spot regardless. So maybe this is something that could entice him. He could maybe earn a little bit more doing this. So those are the players you have to watch, even family and friends of those players, right? Because maybe they are now trying to get a piece of, maybe they know something that everybody else does not know going into game day, and now they could profit off of it by using that information to go ahead and place a bet. So this is a tough situation, and the NBA has to handle this essentially correctly, right? Because this is really the first time that in our league, right, we have seen this while being and working with the gambling companies. This is going to set the precedent. If you suspend him for a season, that is going to tell everybody in the future you get a year if you get caught up in this, right? If you do just an indefinite suspension, that leaves everything open. Now, what is going to happen if you get an indefinite, you suspend Jontay Porter for the rest of the season, he misses a couple games next year, whatever the case may be, say it's just 25 games in total or something. I'm just throwing out random numbers, right? Then what happens when it is a bigger player who does the same thing, and now is more controversial because you have to give him more games? So this is tough. I mean, do you suspend him for multiple years, right? I would say maybe 1 year. We kind of seen that in the NFL with Calvin Ridley. Maybe that is the route that you go, but the NBA has to handle this with care. I do not like sports leagues, whether it's the NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL. I don't like them being in bed with these gambling companies because fans are always going to say the ref is cheating, this player's throwing this, that those accusations are always going to come up. But now that the gambling partners are right there, every time you turn the game on, you're going to see a DraftKings commercial, right? Every podcast you turn on, you're going to see Prize Picks, right? Like, these are the things that you're going to see. You want to make sure that the sport is as pure and as fair as possible. And you can't have this. So I expect a strict ruling if this is proven to be true, that he had any involvement in this whatsoever. I do like that they immediately took him out, so you're not playing any games until we figure out what is going on, and then we will take action from there. But this is interesting. Of course, if you hear anything else, I'll make a video. We will talk about it. But what do you guys think about just sports betting and the leagues being involved with that? Do you think at some point, whether it's this year, next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it will cause a major scandal? In my opinion, there will be some end of the road where it finally happened. A player manipulated a playoff game or threw a playoff game or something of that nature. I think eventually could happen. We're not there yet. I just think it's inevitable with how things are currently set up. But that's my opinion. Of course, I love to hear from the community. What do you guys think, man? Do you think the NBA or really leagues in general making a mistake getting into this? What do you also think is a proper suspension for Jontay Porter? Say he did, collude in some way to help people win the under when it comes to those bets. Anytime the biggest winner of the night, there's people that took the under on Jontay Porter, that's suspicious. That's suspicious, because most people didn't even know he was in the league, let alone take the under for Jontay Porter in specific games. But you guys let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. As usual, hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please do me a favor, go ahead and leave this video a like. It helps me out a lot. And subscribe if you haven't already. It's DLloyd. I'm see you next time.